Hi, I'm Cassie Schrieffer, and I'm here with Gambler and Fly. These guys are a really big part of my life, and so I figured the easiest way to really learn and apply the concepts I learned in class was to think about it in terms of horses. Because in all reality, I'm on horses every day of the week nearly. And so if I think about these principles while I'm riding, I can also think about how they'll apply to leadership situations in class. So I'm going to walk through all 7 weeks with examples related to these horses. Week 1, the word for me that stuck out was challenge, as in challenge your people. With my horses, Gambler here doesn't exactly like to really overexert himself ever. He would walk really slow every day if you let him. So I have to work on exercises that challenge him to move his feet more and to make sure he's quick in doing the things he's supposed to do. And the same way that this applies to teams and people, challenge them to be more than they are. Don't just let them walk or wallow around, when in all reality, I know how good he is when he actually gets up and going. So challenge is the word for week 1. Week 2, be who you want to become. So this for me is someone I would like to become. It's someone I really admire and look up to as a barrel racer and as a person. So when I think about my horses and becoming a leader, it's important for me to study what leaders do, study how they ride their horses, what their horses' genetics are, and to go to clinics where I can actually learn more and become the person that I'm trying to be, become the barrel racer I want to be. And the same thing applies with leadership. Be who I want to become. If I want to become better with my horses, I got to work at it and I got to learn from people. And the same is true with becoming a leader. Week 3, use your sticks. As you can see, I have one of my sticks right here, which is a cowgirl hat that I need to wear when I compete in rodeos. But more importantly than this hat is this stuff right here. These saddles, these bits, everything like that my horses need to be able to compete at a rodeo. Without this, I would not be able to compete. And also, when I think of sticks, I think of resources. Let other people lead. There are some resources that live right down there, that's a big indoor arena, who help me all the time with my horses and lead where I am not able to or where I do not know things. So use your sticks, whether it be people or equipment or whatever you need to be the best leader you can be. Week 4, what inspires your people? What motivates them? As you can see, this guy is really motivated by a treat. I want him to love his job, so I get him to, whenever he does something good, I'll reward him with a treat, which he's well aware are right there. So how are you going to inspire people or motivate them? There's also another part to week 4, which I couldn't help but have 2 parts to this week, and that's about goals. So I won this 2D buckle a couple years ago, and that was a really big goal for me at that time. But now I want to win a 1D buckle. The important thing was that I didn't start out trying to win a 1D buckle right away, because that wouldn't have been attainable, and I would have gotten frustrated very fast. So set attainable goals, shoot for them, accomplish them, and then set bigger goals. So week 5 is all about a winning culture, and in order to do that, you need to sweat the small stuff, or so I call it. So when it comes to barrel racing, there's little details, like in this bit right here, this Chicago screw, if it comes out, the whole thing will come undone. And if you're riding your horse, 40 miles an hour or whatever, how fast you're going, and this comes off, you basically lose all control of the horse. So it's really important to check things like that and make sure that that little small screw is in there tightly, and make sure it's able to hold up your equipment when it comes down to go time. The other thing is, in this horse trailer right here, we have a poop fork back there. And a poop fork is to make sure that this is clean at all times for the horses who are riding in this trailer, because you want to make sure that they're comfortable and happy with where you're taking them if you want them to be winners. And the last thing is a smile. It's all about the attitude, right? So create a winning culture within yourself and have a positive attitude so that it reflects to the people and team around you, or in my case, the horses. They know what kind of mood I'm in, so I better make sure it's a good one, right? Barrel racing is a speed event, so you don't really have time to think about things or make big decisions in the middle of your run because you're going really fast. So the key here is to do a lot of slow work, train your muscles, train your muscle memory, so that when the time comes for you to compete, You know what you're doing and it seems like second nature, and you can trust your gut because you've trained your intuition. So I'm going to show you two videos, one of slow work and one of fast, like a fast competition run, so that you can see the difference and see why it's so important to do the slow work. So when it comes time for a competition, you're ready to go. This applies in business as well. It's so important to do the work beforehand, do the slow work. So when that time comes for that competition run, you're ready and you can trust your gut. This is an example of slow work. You can see how I'm forcing the horse to slow down to do things right and to help us both feel how things are going and train ourselves so that when we're going faster, it feels a lot more natural and a lot more fluid. And this is going fast. As you can see, there's not much room to make a lot of decisions or think about things, and it's best to rely on your intuition and your gut. Last but not least is week 7, which is about always doing the right thing. So even though things are not illegal or bad, sometimes they're not necessarily the right thing. For example, I have a drug here. It's called Venopulmin. It's not illegal, and a lot of people use it for their horses, but it actually acts like a steroid and can really increase their heart rate sometimes and cause them to sweat a lot. So I don't want to use this every day that I ride because I know it's not the best thing for my horses. If there's a moment where it's necessary to help open their airway and help them breathe more, I'll use it, but I'm not going to use it every day just to try to make me go faster because I don't feel like that's the right thing for my animals. The other thing is leg wraps. Make sure I'm doing the right thing by protecting my horse's legs and tendons when they're running really fast through an arena. So even though it's not required that I use these, it's the right thing to use them. And all this applies to business as well. Even though something may not be wrong, is it right? Do the right thing. Do what's best for your people, your team, and your company.